For over 2 years, the world has watched a war of attrition unfold in the Donbass. But beneath the headlines of shifting front lines, a more dangerous evolution is occurring. Russian troops have adopted a new strategy for capturing cities, a shift in tactics that is currently being put to the ultimate test in the battle for Pokrovsk. George Barros, a leading analyst at the Institute for the Study of War, ISW, recently highlighted this shift in a critical analysis for The Washington Post. He warns that while the capture of Pokrovsk might offer Russia only minor tactical advantages on paper, the method of its capture reveals a Russian military that is learning, adapting, and becoming increasingly lethal. If Ukraine and its allies cannot find a way to stop this new operational scheme, the country could face severe challenges in both the near and medium term. To understand the present, we must look at the immediate past. After the fall of Avdiivka, the Russian military command made Pokrovsk its top priority. However, the progress has been agonizingly slow. Over the past 2 years, Russian forces have advanced only 40 kilometers from Avdiivka toward Pokrovsk. But it is the cost of these kilometers that is truly staggering. Between October 2023 and the summer of 2024, the Russian military lost an amount of armor equivalent to 5 full divisions. We are talking about more than 1,000 armored vehicles and over 500 tanks left smoldering in the Ukrainian soil. This massive loss of mechanized power forced a change. Russia realized it could no longer rely on massive tank charges. Instead, they pivoted to a strategy of infiltration. They abandoned large-scale mechanized assaults in favor of small infantry groups. These units move literally on foot, creeping through tree lines and ruins. It is a slow, bloody process. For example, in October 2025 alone, Russian forces captured only 30 kilometers near Pokrovsk, but they paid for it with the lives of 25,000 troops. George Barros points out that Russia has developed a specific operational plan for capturing Ukrainian strongholds. It's a 3-step process that is proving difficult to counter. Logistical strangles. First, long-range drones are deployed to systematically destroy Ukrainian logistics lines, the roads, bridges, and railways that bring ammo and food to the front. Infiltration. Once the defenders are weakened and undersupplied, small infantry assault and sabotage groups are sent in to probe for weak spots. Medium-range strikes. Finally, Russia uses medium-range strikes to prevent Ukrainian reinforcements from reaching the city. This scheme was seen in action when Ukraine was forced to cut rail service to Kramatorsk in late 2025 due to the constant threat of Russian drone swarms. If this pattern continues, the defense of well-fortified cities like Sloviansk, Druzhkivka, and Konstantinivka will be significantly hampered. On the ground, the war has become a terrifying game of hide-and-seek, where the seekers are FPV drones. Recent footage from the 225th Assault Regiment's Morok Battalion illustrates this reality. Near the city of Hulyapol, in the Zaporizhia region, 3 Russian soldiers were spotted attempting to hide in a house. They were tracked, cornered, and eliminated by precision drone strikes. This isn't an isolated incident. Across the front, from forested snowy roads to open fields, Russian personnel moving on buggies or gathering near vehicles are being targeted with surgical precision. As the war enters its 4th year, the Pokrovsk sector remains the hottest point on the map. Ukrainian forces are fighting desperately to repel these assaults, but they are facing a constant barrage of heavy artillery, missiles, and guided aerial bombs. Despite the Russian pressure, Ukrainian units are inflicting massive casualties. The 1st Corps of the Azov National Guard recently released a report covering their operations in the Pokrovsk direction from August to December 2025. The numbers are staggering. In just 5 months, the enemy losses in their sector alone included over 12,000 personnel killed or wounded, 93 tanks, and 259 armored combat vehicles destroyed. 121 transport vehicles, including over 1,000 motorcycles and buggies used for the new small group tactics, and over 3,500 unmanned aerial vehicles. In one notable engagement near Dobropilya, the Azov Corps detected 4 Russian columns attempting a mechanized breakthrough. They successfully halted the assault, destroying 12 pieces of armored equipment, including a rare bridge-laying vehicle. The message from analysts like Barros is clear. Russia is adapting. To stop them, Ukraine must also evolve. This requires developing counter-drone methods capable of engaging targets 60 to 100 kilometers behind the front lines to protect logistics. But technology alone isn't enough. Barros emphasizes that the Kremlin remains uninterested in substantive negotiations as long as they believe their advance is inevitable. For the diplomacy of the Trump administration, or any international body to work, the Russian offensive must first be brought to a complete standstill. The battle for Pokrovsk is more than a fight for a city. It is a fight against a new way of war. Whether Ukraine can break this Russian scheme will likely define the outcome of the coming year.